3 centuries before the War of the Five Kings, before Robert's rebellion, before Daenerys Targaryen dreamed of returning home, one man crossed the sea with fire and blood. His name was Aegon Targaryen. With his 2 sisters, 3 dragons, and a vision of unity, he forged 6 kingdoms into one and gave birth to the Iron Throne. This is the story of Aegon's Conquest. When the doom of Valyria shattered the great empire of dragon lords, almost all of their proud houses were destroyed in fire and ash. But some families of Valyrian descent survived beyond the freehold. The Targaryens, who had already settled on Dragonstone, were the only house of dragon lords to endure. Alongside them, their kinsmen the Valerions on Driftmark and the Celtigars of Claw Isle carried on their Valyrian bloodlines, though they had never mastered dragons. From Dragonstone, Aegon Targaryen rose. He was a man of few words and fewer friends, but he dreamed of conquest. His closest companions were his sisters, stern Visenya and playful Rhaenys, and his loyal friend Orys Baratheon. With them were the last 3 dragons in the world, Balerion the Black Dread, Vhagar and Meraxes. In Westeros, 7 kings ruled and warred without end. The Starks in the north, Arryns in the Vale, Hoars in the Riverlands and Iron Islands, Lannisters in the west, Gardeners in the Reach, Durandons in the Stormlands, and the Martells in Dorne. Aegon dreamed of one realm under one king. He sent ravens offering peace if they bent the knee. None accepted. So Aegon landed his army upon the mouth of the Blackwater Rush. There he raised a wooden fort, the Aegon Fort, and unfurled a banner never before seen, a red 3-headed dragon upon black. Crowned by his sisters, Aegon declared himself king of all Westeros. Those who yielded kept their lands. Those who resisted would burn. Aegon's first great enemy was Harren the Black, king of the Isles and Rivers. Harren had bled the Riverlands dry to build his colossal fortress, Harrenhal. Its towers were the tallest in Westeros, its walls the thickest. Harren boasted that stone does not burn. Aegon encamped outside the castle and offered peace. Harren refused. That night, Aegon mounted Balerion. The Black Dread's fire fell upon Harrenhal, stone melting like candles, towers collapsing in flame. Harren and his sons perished within their walls, and with them ended House Hoare. The River Lords rose against their tormentors and bent the knee to Aegon. Edmund Tully was raised Lord Paramount of the Trident, beginning a line that would endure for centuries. In the Stormlands, proud Argilac Durandon, called the Arrogant, gathered his strength. He had sent Aegon an offer of alliance, demanding lands for his daughter's dowry. Aegon returned the proposal with insult, offering Argella Durandon instead to Orys Baratheon. Argilac answered with war. At the battle remembered as the last storm, thunder and rain lashed the field as Argilac's spears clashed with Aegon's host. Rhaenys and Meraxes could not fly in the gale, and the battle was fought on foot and steel. Argilac cut his way deep into Aegon's line, but there he met Orys Baratheon. In single combat, the Storm King fell. His daughter Argella was taken captive, but Orys wed her with honor, claiming Storm's End, the crowned stag, and the words, "Ours is the fury." Thus was House Baratheon born, blood of kings, yet bound to the Targaryens. To the west, 2 kings joined against the invader, Mern Gardener of the Reach and Loren Lannister of the Rock. With 50,000 men, they marched the greatest host ever seen in Westeros. Aegon's own army was smaller by half, but he had dragons. On a dry plain of wheat and grass, the hosts clashed. Then came fire. From above, Rhaenys and Visenya loosed flame to either side, while Balerion descended upon the center. The battlefield became a furnace. Men burned where they stood, steel melted, thousands died screaming. The battle was named the Field of Fire. King Mern and all his line were consumed, ending House Gardener. King Loren survived and bent the knee. Aegon raised Harlan Tyrell, steward of Highgarden, to Warden of the South. News of fire and ruin reached the north. Torrhen Stark, king in the north, marched south with 30,000 men. At the Trident he saw Aegon's host, swelled with Riverlords, Stormlanders, Westerlanders, Reachmen, and 3 dragons. Torrhen's bannermen urged attack, but the king remembered Harrenhal and the Field of Fire. His bastard brother, Brandon Snow, offered to slay the dragons by stealth, but Torrhen refused to risk his people. He knelt before Aegon, laid down his crown and swore fealty. Forever after he was remembered as the king who knelt, a name of scorn to some, but one who saved the north from burning. In the Vale, Queen Shara Arryn gathered armies at the Bloody Gate. her impregnable fortress guarding the Eyrie. But walls mean little to dragons. Visenya flew Vhagar over the mountains and landed in the Eyrie's courtyard. There she found young King Ronald on her knee, begging for a ride. When he landed, the boy was no longer king, but lord, his mother forced to yield. But in the far south, dawn defied fire and steel. Princess Miria Martell, blind, fat and unbowed, told Rhaenys that she would not fight, but she would never kneel. When the dragons came, the Dornish vanished into deserts and mountains, leaving only stone and sand to burn. Aegon's banners could claim every castle, but no kingdom. Thus Dorne alone remained unconquered. At last, Aegon turned to Old Town, seat of the Faith of the Seven. The High Septon prayed for 7 days and 7 nights before declaring Aegon the rightful king. With sacred oils he anointed him, with 7 titles he crowned him: King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men, Lord of the 7 Kingdoms, Protector of the Realm. From the Aegon Fort rose a new city, King's Landing. From the swords of his enemies, Aegon forged the Iron Throne, jagged, twisted steel upon which kings would rule for centuries. Thus did Aegon the Conqueror unite 6 of the 7 kingdoms, leaving only Dorne unconquered. His conquest was born in fire and blood, but his reign brought peace and unity to a land long torn by war. From Dragonstone's exile he rose, and from King's Landing he ruled, upon a throne of swords that endures still. Yet even Aegon could not break the will of Dorne. The Martells remained unbowed, unbent, unbroken, resisting every dragon flame. It would take more than a century before Dorne entered the realm, not through conquest, but through diplomacy and marriage. By then, the Iron Throne ruled all of Westeros, a legacy born in dragonfire, but tempered at last by union.